Yeah, hi guys. This is Saf Buxy from Spirituality Gone Wild, and welcome to Universal Recovery, a show where we talk about addiction, trauma, mental health, and all sorts of things. But we try and bring a bit of fun into it. Hi Debbie, hi Kelly, and I haven't forgotten you, Kelly, and I'm going to dedicate this show today to Kelly Bird's mother. God bless her. God bless her. She It was a funeral yesterday, and Kelly is, full of emotions, and my heart goes out to her, and even more so today. Today is Kelly's mother's birthday, so I'd like to dedicate this show to Helen Bruce Sexton. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So this show is I'd like to dedicate this show to one of our viewers, Kelly Bird's mother, Helen Bruce Sexton. So I hope you enjoy the show. Bad news, we haven't got TJ today. Bad news, we haven't got Jeremy today, but we have someone who has been a long fan of Universal Recovery and many shows that I'm involved with, and he has such a wealth of knowledge in addiction, in recovery, and I've always wanted him to come on the show. So I thought, you know what better opportunity than today to get him on the show. But before I introduce my man Jed on fire, I'm gonna find out how you say his proper name, because I don't want to say it wrong. I haven't said his full name properly yet, because I don't want to get it wrong. So I'll be calling him Jed because he's cool with that. But before I go on, this is Universal Recovery. We're part of Spirituality Gone Wild. Come and join me, link me up, and join the Untamed Club, the best club in the world, where we have different courses and meditation and amazing leaders in spirituality and addiction and channeling, where you could take these courses and actually get involved and have a life of abundance. So give me a message or link me up on Facebook or through my website, which is all there, www.safbuxy.com. Get on the link, Untamed Club, and join up and be part of our community, the Spirituality Gone Wild community. Let me get some of the stuff out of the way. Of course, this Thursday, I've got my show, Inspirational People, Inspirational Stories, and I've got our very own Scott Stansfield there. I'm dying to know what he does with the nutrition side of things. He's a spiritual guy as well, and he's one of the family. So I'm looking forward to having Scott on Thursday. And of course, Monday night, every Monday, Sky TV. Monday night, I mean 9:30 p.m. in the UK, Sky TV Men's Talk, where I lead and I host a show called Men's Talk, which is on Sky Channel 191, Sky Showcase, Sky TV UK. Right, just a few highs. Hi, Debbie, my favorite guys. Hi, Kelly. God bless you. Hi, John. Hi, Debbie again. Hi, Robert and Kelly. God bless you as always. Look, I'm gonna get Jed on. Jed, where you at, mate? Hey, what's up, Jeddy?
Awesome, glad to be here. We are in Indiana, baby.
Indiana, baby. Yeah. Hi, Jed. Hi, Angel. How you doing? I'm just saying hi to people as they come on. Jed, you know what? But without further ado, how do you say your name?
It's Jedediah.
How do you say it?
It's Jedediah.
Jedediah.
Yes, we're going to add that fire part on the back of that because we are on fire, baby.
Jedediah on the fire. That is amazing. Well, look, thanks. Well, I'm going to call you Jed because it's quicker, it's shorter, and we can get to the crux of everything. Now, from the very first moment you got involved and asking questions and some of the answers and your wisdom that I feel you have when it comes to recovery and addiction and everything that comes with it, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer to have you on the show, and I'm blessed and I'm grateful that you are here to be of service like we all are. So thank you very much, first and foremost, Jed, being here with me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love to hear a bit about your story, and please, guys, keep the questions coming in. Hi, Steve. We will try and answer your questions, and maybe if they're related to what Jed says or what I say, that'll be even better because then we could go in a flow. But Jed, just a little bit about where you've come from, what a young Jed was like, how How was your family bring up and your circumstances, whatever you feel comfortable with, of course. And how was your environment and how you got into whatever you got into and how you're coming out of it. Over to you.
Awesome. Well, I growing up in poverty and poor and with alcoholic parents, when I was looking for attention or emotional fulfillment for me, I found that early in age that drinking some of Dad's beer or selling drugs, I got the attention I needed. I got a self-esteem. I got all the friends I ever wanted and extra money. And then with all that said, throughout high school, drinking, fighting, partying, and all the good stuff that goes along with that, I created a very vicious addiction, which then when having my children and raising up with them in and out of jail and not even really knowing them, I'm there, but I don't even know them because I'm always high. I'm still active in my addiction. They're growing up without me. So I lost touch with them. And the coolest thing about all that is the last few years, the most I've had back with my 22-year-old in the last 15 years. So it's all coming full circle. But until I was able to find my center, find myself, and not be enslaved to artificial instant gratification, could I begin to allow myself to become who I'm truly meant to be. Being induced to drugs and alcohol for so long, it killed my natural God-given energy. And I never lived up to my full potential until I was in and out of jail, or I actually got incarcerated for, I had 4 OWIs. Every time I got incarcerated, I would go in the drug and alcohol block. And I would face my madness straight on. I would become a leader in the block, and I would stand my ground, and I would get people their GEDs. I would get people in recovery. I would touch base with them afterwards, and I would build a relationship with these guys so we can keep going, baby. And we did. I was there 3 times, and I went through the drug and alcohol block that was in the Boone County Jail, and I mentored these boys because I'm getting old, but 43 this year. So, so
you look good, Jed. Seriously, you look a lot younger. Look at me. I'm getting old, brother.
Oh, that's yeah, see my good numbers.
You look great. You look great.
With that said, when I started developing this relationship, and it was something I never had with alcoholic parents growing up, and I always starved for it. So when I started getting friends with the drugs and selling drugs with extra money, extra attention, then when I got sober and I was in jail, I found that emotional feelings would come straight to me by building my relationship up with these boys. And then with me losing my family and everything with that, I would talk to these kids and be like, hey, man, I tell them my story. This is what happened to me, man. You want to lose it all? I said, addiction is life or death, man. And if you keep going down this road, bro, you're going to be my age. You're going to be back in here. I said, and then kids will grow up without you, bro. You don't want that to happen. I said, so put your foot down now. When addiction is life or death, you can go out there and start using it again. You don't know if you're ever going to make it back. You don't know if if you're ever going to have the time or if you're going to die or kill yourself. So, and then growing up in this atmosphere and habitat with growing up selling drugs, using drugs, I've had so many friends and die, and it's unbelievable. Hi, Steve. And so with that said, that gave me the power to reach out to anybody that's in an active addiction, be like, hey, man, I got a plan for you, baby. 2 hands up. We can do this. We can get you out of this. We can get you going, and there's different levels of it, compared to the alcoholic, compared to the cocaine addict. And there's different lives that everybody sees with their addiction. Everybody's different. So when you get with them, you listen to them. I've been there and I've done that. And I'm lucky to be alive. I've already did a few times myself, but I'm here and I'm making the best of it, reaching out to the next man, pulling him out of the dungeon, be like, hey, man, we got a Bryce out over here. We don't have to live there no more. Let's go this way, baby. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you. We're going to find your center, baby. We're going to understand what pisses you off, what makes you mad, what you starve for, baby, because we're going to fix that, because we're going to find your center, and we're going to go moving this way, and we're going to leave that back there. And that was the biggest thing about letting the past go. The past would run your life for you because you'd hang on to it. And then that's dark back there. And then we got the light right here. So then that was the biggest key about me working with my friends and people and family is, you have to let that go because we're going this way and that's staying back there because all that stuff gets you in trouble. Now, if you go back here, you're going to get in trouble again. So we're going to go this way.
No, yeah. You know what I like about you, Jed, is that you've had this journey, and you've been in and out. You've been incarcerated. You've been entrapped and ensnared in the madness of addiction. Yet you know what? You're so humble, and you're so willing, and you come from a place of love. You come from a place of love, and that's what I like. I just want to say something. Donald Johnson, who I know as Don, he's just said that to you, man. Well said. So he obviously appreciates what you just said, and he's obviously be able to relate to it. Don, I know, he's one of my clients, if you like, and he wrote a poem, which I think we spoke off air. He wrote a poem when he was in rehab, and I've got this poem here, and I'd like to read it to everyone. And this is a poem written by Don whilst he was in rehab, and I pray for Don and anyone else who's suffering an addiction. The poem is called Cortisol and Dopamine. Okay. Cortisol and dopamine in me are out of whack. The first is up too high, too long. The other pushes back. Alcohol helps dopamine to battle cortisol. Tolerance builds up, alas. And then, a funny thing, the more I need to keep me up, the further down I sink. That's powerful, Don, and thank you very much for sharing that with me. And I wanted to share it with my audience. And if anyone else has got poems or anything they want to bring to our shows, please do. Myself and TJ in future, and Jeremy and Jed is now part of the team. We'll be happy to read them out. Angel, so powerful to help others. True, our own experiences, and it heals our wounds. Most definitely. I mean, that's all about. I mean, are you a 12-stepper, Jed?
Yes, I am, but I have my ups and downs with it. It's helped a lot of people, but it's not intense enough for a lot of people. The vibes are too low in a sense to read. You got good information in there, but you got about 3/4 of it is stories, and that keeps your vibes down here. So when we take recovery to the next level, it's about positivity no matter what. It's about recreating your thoughts and your expressions with a new outlook, recreating yourself, reinventing yourself to where you don't keep falling back into this down low vibe sequence of events. Because I believe the more you concentrate on the positive vibes, the better it is for you to stay away from the lower vibes. As you know, when you do drugs, it kills your natural vibe and your natural energy and camouflages your true self and your potential. And so with that said, I learned from 12 steps, and I went through it all and did all that. But I'm here to take it to the next level. And it's a great book, and the Serenity Prayer is awesome. But at the same time, it's old. It's been here for a long time, and it helps. But nothing says you can't take it to rise it up and take it to another level, and that's what I'm doing.
And I love that. I absolutely love that, because we're not, and we say this week on, week out, we're not disregarding any modality, especially not the 12 steps. For me, the 12 steps was a life savior, especially in the beginning. But obviously, I'm more involved in other things now, including TJ's conscious recovery. And it's never to discount anything. It's in addition to, and we're strong believers that whatever works. And 12 steps did work for me, and I'd still use an element of 12 steps on a daily basis. But I'm also doing other things and looking at other things in my life, looking within myself intrinsically, so I can portray it extrinsically and try and be out there. What would you say? What advice or what tips would you give to someone, Jed, who's suffering at the moment, who's had a period of abstinence? And I think you might be able to relate to this. Who's had a period of abstinence, just say for argument's sake, from alcohol, a few weeks, and then suddenly have relapsed, not because anything triggered them, because they just wanted to have a drink, and then they drank like they used to drink within a period of 2-3 days. What would you say to someone who did that?
Complacency. When you get comfortable with your surroundings and you didn't change your people, places, and things, you're going to fall straight back into where you came from. So when you come complacent, watch out for complacency. Do journaling, and that will help you see when you're falling back to that other man. and he was doing good, and he fell back off the wagon. And what happened is he didn't stay connected. 30 meetings in 30 days, that is the best start you can ever have. That gets you right, but then there's a lot of things that follow that, but you got to stay connected, and that's and I get a sponsor early on. Well, since addiction is an ongoing process throughout your whole life, because you could be that other man so quick, and it all come back so quick and easy. So that's where I come in with creating a new expression within a man to be able to fight these triggers, temptations, and not have them as much as he would, as everything is at different levels also.
No, yeah, and again, that's great advice. And also, Angel, thank you for what your comment is. She says, have someone to talk to and don't judge yourself. I'm a strong believer of that. Reaching out and talking to people, like-minded people, is ideally a good thing. Looking at our shows like this, where we try and help people who have relapsed or who have been in addiction, so we can relate to each other. But also, when she says don't judge yourself, means don't beat yourself up. That's the worst thing you can do. It's done is done. We say in conscious recovery, it's a brilliant strategy, right? It's a brilliant strategy. Donald is just said a wonderful comment to you, Jed. She goes, "You're crushing it. Thank you, Don." And this is why we got people like Jed on the show, because he's someone who's been there, who knows, and he wants to take it to the next level. And we encourage more and more people like Jed to be part of our community, because you know what? Addiction you can't do alone. You can't conquer it alone. We do it as a collective. We do it in communion. We do it together, and only then we can move forward. We don't ridicule each other for past mistakes. We don't ridicule each other because you've relapsed. We don't ridicule each other. We don't do any of that. We move forward together. And Angel continues to say, he is spot on. Talk from the heart, and that's what you do, because you've been there, Jed. You've been there. You know what it's like, and people can relate to you. He can not only relate to you because you've been there, but because when you talk with humility. There's no arrogance, there's no ego, there's no lying in you. And that's why I love you, and that's why my audience loves you, and we're happy to have you. So tell me, what was the catalyst? What was the point where you said to yourself, or what happened when you said, enough's enough, that's it, I don't want to kill myself anymore, I'm going to get better? How did that all happen? Tell us about it.
Very good. About 4 years ago, I got with this girl, and everything was cool. And she had 3 kids, and she got hooked on the meth. And then her and her husband were on the meth. And then I seen all these creeps coming in and out. So I stood my ground. She kicked him out. I moved in, got rid of all the creeps. And when they all came, then when she got back on the meth, I started taking care of the kids. And then I knew exactly how my kids' mom felt for all them years I was with her. It put me right on ground zero. Then all the feelings came in, because then I could feel now. I'm not numb no more to the whole world, because now I can feel. And now I feel all these emotions, and I can totally relate where my kids' mom was for years. I said, that's enough. Took care of these kids. Shit hit the fan pretty big. And that's what changed my life right there.
Did you indulge in crystal meth yourself?
Yeah, I've done everything. I used to sell cocaine when I got into thing. When I was poor, I did everything. I did every drug there was. I used to tour with the Grateful Dead just around Indiana. I'd go to St. Louis, Memphis, Tennessee, Buckeye Lake in Ohio, Chicago, Indiana. And that was the life I created. I would, when I was young, I traveled with them when they came around, and that also brought a side to me that was one of the coolest sides ever. Growing up, mom and dad drinking, fighting all the time, and arguing. I found my peace when I toured with the Grateful Dead. I found peace. Everybody loved everybody, and that's a piece I carry with me today, without the drugs and stuff. But I have that feeling, and it was there. But I carry that with me today, and the love that they showed me, family, having thousands of people following this rock group around the United States and take care of each other. That's a good deal, good stuff. And with that said, that all the drugs and stuff was there, some were, some won't. But that also helped me in my life become love for everybody, everything. And Mother Nature and meditation, as I love to hunt and fish, But at the same time, that's one thing in my life experience that I'll never forget.
It's beautiful. Don is saying crap meth. I did that once upon a time. Well, 3 to 4 years. The last drug that I did, and it was for 5 years. My last 5 years of using, I was well into crystal meth, and all drugs make you do things out of character, but crystal meth just took it to a different level. It destroyed my life. It grabbed me. It took away my integrity. It took away my morality, my sanity, my serenity. It took away all of it. And my word, did I do things out of character? And I feel so blessed that I'm no longer in that lifestyle. So I know what crystal meth can do. Angel, amazing man, unconditional love. And that's what it's about now, isn't it? It's coming from a place of love. We're here to love each other. We're here to love each other through the tragedy, the travesty, and through all these pain that people are going through, because it is a pain. I don't know about you, Jed, but when I was ensnared in addiction at its highest, and I was an addict of some sort for 33 years of my life, I was a prisoner in my own body, in my own mind. Now, you've been to prison, right? You've been to jail, right?
Yes.
But it's a different type of jail than what we are in our minds. Can you relate to that, what I'm saying?
I can relate to that totally. The biggest war I ever had was in between my 2 ears. Absolutely. And that's the thing about just going to your AA class, your normal AAs with people sitting around. Well, I did this, and when I used to drink, I used to do this. But it's about recreating yourself now and being active in the new expression that you create yourself, that you give your full given God energy to and portray out to the world. Now you create this new image. Now express this new image. Instead of going, I'm not saying nothing bad about nothing or how they run through things, but I'm here to take it to another level and to be able to. The biggest thing about when you are down in the dungeon for so long, when you start to come out of it and you start to get your natural feelings back, it's the best feeling in the world. And once your dopamine runs away, if you don't grasp onto what makes you feel so good and practice some traits of smiling, helping out, then you go back so easy, because it's so much easier to go back to the drugs and alcohol because you didn't have enough of your new expression and enough time with your God-given ability of that natural energy and flow. So with that said, understanding the new expression and staying more committed to staying in that new expression with the positive vibes to stay in a positive direction.
And I totally agree, but and I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So what can you tell our viewers, tell the people out there that it's a time thing, isn't it? But how can someone work on themselves so much? I know it's sometimes about getting into that spiritually fit condition. I mean, I don't want to drink or take a drug ever again. I remember when I first came into recovery, I said to myself, I wish I could have just had one. Now I don't even want to have one. I'm in such a good place, and I want it to continue because I have every faith in myself and in the power greater than myself and whatever is out there that I will continue doing what I'm doing, because one, I genuinely want to keep like this. Two, I want to help as many people as possible, and I can't help others if I can't help myself. Three, I want to give a message of hope to people that there is a way out. And that's why I love you, Jed, because you are the same. We are two peas in a pod. We want to give that same message. Yeah. Angel says this beautifully. Yeah. She goes, dive deep always and face what show up. That's like saying living life on life's terms. Everything's going to come. How do we, God, look, say if something happens to you that you're not happy with, something that makes you sad. We experience a loss. We experience whatever. What can you put into place if you're not at that spiritual level to reduce the chances of you using again?
Well, there's a lot of things that self-esteem and confidence is one of the biggest things. And then staying that positive vibe. Activities, get out in Mother Nature and stay connected with your people you met in recovery. And that's one of the biggest things is becoming disconnected. When you stay connected, you always got somebody to fall back on. You got a backup plan right outside your back door. And that's very important. And then get rid of that ego, because we're all in this together, goddammit. It's just not me, boy. Take I out of it, boy. because we're all in this together, and you, for me, are the best teachers within humanity. You're going to teach me something I don't even know about myself, or I know about myself, but I don't know what the steps to take to get there thoroughly to unlock that darkness to get away from me, as in a simple gesture or a simple different view of looking at things. And communication, you have to let it go. You have to be humble and be like, hey, man, I can't do this no more. I have to surrender, man. I have to let it go. I can't be that man no more. And I also have to accept where I've been, where I came, and who I become. Then you got to forgive yourself and everything that created that madness inside you. Let it go so you can evolve for that new expression. So you be safe, baby. Now you're safe. Now you got this backup plan, the 5-second rule. You ever start journaling, you start thinking bad thoughts like you used to. You can see yourself going downhill. And that's why it's important to journal in the beginning, because your thoughts and your characteristics starts coming back slowly but surely, but you don't even see it. But other people see it, but you don't, because you're in there. And that's where staying connected helps. But then when that's what's important about the 5-second rule too, because after you're safe and you surrender, accept, forgive, and evolve for that new expression, now you're safe, and you got this 5-second rule that will retrain your thoughts. When you start feeling that way, you're like kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and think of the new expressions of the old man you became, and then start going back this way again, and just talking and being open about everything with you, and reach out to touch the next man. You have your sponsor, but you can also be a sponsor for somebody else, and that keeps you connected. And when you start, when someone helps you, then you start helping somebody else. They give you the best feeling in the world, and that's where you create that new expression. You keep staying there, staying connected with that new expression. It's hard to take you back down. You can stay going that way the rest of your life.
An angel says, "We're not walking alone." I love this 5-second rule, and I love this. I love this. Obviously, this can only be used before you've used, right? This is to try and stop the relapse, right? The 5-second rule.
Yes.
Because obviously, once you're in, you're in. There's no 5-second rules because you're back on it already.
Absolutely, and that's what, once you create that new expression. And you have all these good character, positive vibes with you now that you carried from becoming that new man. When you start feeling triggered or seeing temptations, you take another look. You take another look at the vision, and then when you use that 5-second rule to reset that vision of going back to the old man, and take a look at yourself again. I had to surrender from that guy. I had to accept that new guy. I had to forgive all the stuff that came with it, and I evolved from that man. And now I'm a new man. I got these new expressions I want to live for. So when you start feeling, you got the plan with 2 hands, baby. When you start feeling that way, you just think about that man you was, looking in that mirror and be like, that's the man I hate. That's the man I don't want to be no more, because I'm going to go this way. So then that 5-second rule get your 5 seconds is all it takes to get your brain thinking another way. So then when you reflect on that new reflection of the man and new expressions that you became, you start going that way again.
Remember that, guys, the 5-second rule. If you want to know more about that, give me a message, give Jed a message, and we can go through that a bit more. I mean, I absolutely love that. I love that. Angel says, transform the negative to super strength. I'm a strong believer of that. I'm a strong believer. I don't know if you heard my shows before, Jed. I'm sure you have. But I always look at both sides. Always look at both sides. There's no good without bad. There's no predator without a prey. There's no prey without a predator. Always look at both sides. We're sold this fantasy of looking at a one-sided world. Look at both sides, yeah? Don't beat yourself up. When there's a negative, so-called negative, look at the benefits of that negative. And when there's a so-called positive, look at the drawbacks and bring it to an equilibrium. Put people in your heart, not on a pedestal and not in a pit. Put them in an equilibrium, put them in your heart. And I'm a strong believer of that, and I think you are too. We must not beat ourselves up for our past mistakes. We must not beat ourselves up or ridicule each other because we got entrapped by addiction. That's not how it works. We acknowledge it. We see how it served us today. Look how it served us today. Look at us. Look at the work we're doing. Look at the work you're doing, Jed. Yeah? We're out there trying to give this message of hope. We're trying to help as many people as we can through mediums, through platforms like this, right? We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't go through what we went through. Not saying what we went through, you got to go through what you went through to do this. But this is what we're using, man. This is our serious. This is our experiences of however deep and however dark and whatever that place was. And it was deep and it was dark and it wasn't a place I'd wish upon anyone, nor would you. But we've been there. You've been there. And now we're using that today to help others to come out of that.
And that's the biggest thing. After that new expression you create, you let the past go too, because resentments and holding on to the past is your biggest cause for relapse, because you're also holding on to that old man that you used to be with them thoughts and feelings up in your head. So when you create that new expression, start going that way, you just keep going and stay connected, and you're do well. And, relapse is a part of recovery, but I don't like saying that term because that's reservations for a lot of the weaker minded people in recovery. They say, oh, well, it is part, so I'm just going to go to it. I'll say, no. So get out of your vocabulary, because that's not how it goes, baby. We're going this way, remember? We ain't leaving no room for that. And at the meetings, at the end of the meetings, they say, works if you work it, keep coming back. Every meeting I went to, I said, works if you work it, die if you don't. Every meeting. And I yell it out loud. Because it ain't no joke. It's not. You want to die? You want to keep killing yourself? Then you're going to keep maintaining the same stuff you did when you was active and you're using for so many years, for so long. But if you don't, bro, we go this way. We got stuff that works. We got a plan, and we'll stick to it. And if you need me to help you stick to it, I will. I might have to beat your ass once or twice, but you're going to go in the right way when I'm done.
Right. And I'm fine with that.
When it's life or death, you have to get harsh with these people. You can't just talk, because, talk is cheap. Where I come from, talk is so cheap, especially when, you told the dope dealer you're going to pay him 100 times, but you still never paid him, and you still get fronts, and you still never pay him. We became masters of manipulation, codependency, and we didn't know who we were one bit. And with that said, that's a total transformation. And I got some cool stuff that will help you transform the negative energies, opposites, to a positive direction and help you stay there.
Wow. Angel says we need to look our light within so we can walk our light and see others' light. And Angel's really liking it. Be real, talk real. And that's it. That's what it's about. What I wanted to talk about in conscious recovery, we look at things through a spiritual lens. And one of the things that we look at is unresolved trauma. What's your point of view? Where do you stand with unresolved trauma? Before you answer that, Jed, in my experience, everyone I know, 100% of people I know, whether it's through the fellowships, whether it's through rehab, whether it's through people that I know, whether it's clients, whatever it is, who are in addiction, who have been ensnared by this, have experienced or suffered some kind of trauma. It doesn't mean everyone who's experienced trauma gets into addiction. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that everyone that I've worked with, helped with, walked with, talked with, who have been in addiction have experienced some kind of trauma. Where do you stand on that? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? What's your experience with that?
I agree with that. And it can go as far back as when you was a little pup and something happened that you didn't agree with, and it didn't have to be that bad, but you kept it up here. And then when that negativity or negative vibe happens, it's so easy to relate back to it or fall back to it, to connect to it, and then you hide it by using. But coming onto the show was so cool because you read a poem right off the gate, and I write. That was my outlet after using it for years. When I started writing, I write poems like crazy. So here's my poem about trauma. Passage. Yes, thank you. Passages of pain fall and drop just like rain. The unknown call, the unforgiven fall. Puddles up the sorrow, be given a chance to recover tomorrow. Splash into laugh, letting go of the past. You got to let the past go, baby, because if you don't, it's going to hold on to you. It's going to keep you where it wants to keep you in the dark. Let it go, baby. That trauma's back there too. That trauma's back there. That old man's back there. All that bullshit, all that crap's back there. Go this way, baby. Because you can. You have the opportunity. You have this new expression. You have feelings of love and light. So go, baby. The darkness is back there. You're not that man no more. You're out of there. So you keep going this way.
I love that, man. Jen, I love the way you talk. It's beautiful. But you said all that, but how do you do it? How do you let go of the past?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to eternity freedom. You understand it happened. You understand you got to be honest with yourself. You have to understand that was then, this is now. You have to let it go. And that's when, that's when we come together with each other and talk about things, because you let it go. When you talk and let your feelings out there, baby, and you let someone else relate with you, that's where it channels out to get let loose, baby. That's what community is all about: connection, stay connected. That's where the trauma stays with you, is when you don't let it out. When you talk and stay connected, and when you feel it a certain way, or your feelings come up or rise from the past that you've been holding on for so long, you talk to these people, because everybody's been there in some way, shape, or form. You start using in the beginning to hide something, mask something. So when you let it out and be honest with yourself and forgive and forget, baby, live and let bygones be bygones, you're off to the races. But staying committed, staying connected, and being around like-minded people that are doing positive things, positive results, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Forgiveness is the key to love. Thanks, Andrew. And also, I think acceptance, of course, is a big part of that as well. And acceptance, and I've got to stress it doesn't mean that you're agreeing with what happened, or it was amazing what happened. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it was very, very wrong what happened. But you've got to accept it. Until you can accept it, you can't move on. I couldn't move on. I couldn't accept the abuse that I endured for so many years. I couldn't accept. So I had to accept the abuse. I had to accept the adoption. I had to accept this. I had to accept so many things, and only until I accepted it, I got a bit of peace, and I was able to move on. And then once acceptance was there, then I was able to forgive, which I think is so powerful. But a lot easier said than done. The fork in the road. Kimberly, hi. Sorry, I'm putting your messages up, Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. So happy. We got Jed today. TJ and Jeremy are not here, but Jed has been an amazing co-host, and I hope hope everyone's enjoying the show, because Jed is real. Jed is real. Jed has been there. Jed knows, and Jed knows. Jed wants to take it to the next level. I've heard you say that a few times today. I've heard you say that a few times in your own shows as well. Yes. Taking it to the next level. When you say that, what do you mean, take it to the next level?
What I mean is the vibes that carry you, that you're going to be able to connect with, to keep going. That negativity that drowns you out, the drugs and alcohol that killed your natural energy, that's negative. So I concentrate on positivity, creating a new master plan with goals, with habits. Instead of, how many times you took your hand to your mouth and drink with your beer, and there's a muscle mind connection. So you start exercising, you start feeding back into your body. Instead of tearing yourself down with things, you're going to start feeding your body now. And practice makes perfect. So the littlest habits of doing writing, instead of taking my hand in my mouth all the time, I started writing with my pencil. So now my hand's doing something different, not doing this all the time. And now I restructured my brain, my thinking that way. And that's a vibe within itself, muscle mind connection. And then the vibes, positive self-talk. We're raising it to another level, because a lot of this stuff, you go to an AA meeting, and I can't say, too much about it, because they worked for millions of people. But from my experience, they just go around the group and they all talk about, they don't really talk about the solution. They focus more on the problem. So when I say take it to the next level, we don't play around with, well, boo-hoo, I used to do this when I drank, and I did this when I drank, and I used to, we stay positive self-talk, positive affirmations, meditation. We're taking them to the next level. We don't ever look back.
Thank you, Jed. We've had a few comments here. Remapping the brain. Kelly's saying, thank you, Kelly. Angel saying, create to let go, clear away attachments. I want to read what Don is saying. I haven't actually read it, but I want us to read it. I know I can't see you and you can't see me, but we can. He's saying, my inner child got up with shakes. Oh, is this I think it's another poem. Is this a poem? My inner child got up with shakes, and after heaving in the sink, he went into the kitchen and fixed himself a drink. Then went to the sitting room and sat in front of the TV. The tinkling sound of ice on glass had by then awakened me. I quickly looked inside myself and saw the little guy was gone. I found him sitting on the couch with some show from Netflix on. It's 4 a.m. What's going on? I asked, not knowing what to think. Anyway, my dear young friend, you're far too small to drink.
Oh,
I can't read the rest of the message, but thank you. Don, and Jed touched on that. Jed,
That just oh, sorry. That just reminded me of something I just said. I was this little boy trapped in a grown man's body because when I started using it at an early age, I stayed stuck at that young man, and I'm growing up physically, but I'm still that little kid. And so, with that said, I didn't even know how to relate to big man emotional problems, and I'm still that little kid. And I told myself for years, I'm not going to be like my dad and mom was growing up raising my kids, but I was the same man for years. So then that took me back to resents and why did I become that man? How did I become that man? And then until I was able to see that I was that little kid, and then, start from the deep-seated resentments I had in my head, was I able to carry on and let it go, detach from it to move forward healthy and happily. And that's forgiveness, letting it go. But that was a sweet poem. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Don. And Don has actually sent me loads of different poems, which I may read in future weeks. Even Angel was saying, Donald, great poem. Wow, you know what? You're such a remarkable man, Jed. And everything that I thought about you, I was right. Everything I thought I knew about you, I was right, because it's like we know when there's someone in our community who's experienced what we've experienced. It's not about big T trauma, little T trauma. It's about trauma and its experience. It's whatever you've experienced, whatever you guys have experienced is personal to you. Whatever I experienced is personal to me. But we've experienced something that took us towards looking for something else, looking for a dopamine rush, looking for something to escape. People call it coping mechanism. We call it brilliant strategy. Whatever it was, we share that commonality, Jed. And the biggest commonality we share, in addition to what we were, is what we are today. And we both want to take it to the next level. There's a couple more I want to read. Kimberly, I'm so happy you're back with us. Love you for helping me and sharing and caring. We're all in it together. We're in it together, Kimberly. We work together as a collective. Don, to you, Jed. Word up, Jed. Everything you have said touches me. Thank you, Don. I'm so happy you've joined us. We've actually come to an end. It's just flowing by. We are looking in future weeks to do it to an hour, but
we're having fun.
It's great fun. But I think there's something that you and I could do in the future. I've got things in my mind. But Angel, teach your wisdom of unconditional love. You truly have powerful stuff to share. Thank you, Angel. Jed, it has been a pleasure. It has been a breath of fresh air to have you here. It's been a different show than what we normally do. Normally myself, TJ or Jeremy, we're talking about different things, but I think hearing your story, hearing where you were, hearing where you've been, hearing how you got to where you are today, and hearing where you want to go has been so empowering. It's been so empowering and so refreshing for me to hear. You know what? This is like a concert. Yeah, you know when we come to the last song and they always say one more. No. Look at Donald. No, don't go. Don't leave us.
Do
it. All right, whatever. We'll have one more, Don, just for you, my man, just for you. So in conscious recovery, we talk about unresolved trauma. We talk about knowing the essential self, because we believe beneath all addictive behavior, there's an essential self that is pure and whole. When we're born pure and whole, right? It's just society or whatever happens or whatever goes on in life or whatever we go through leads us to something that we're looking for. And in our case is a drink or drug or behavioral addiction, whatever it is. But beneath all these addictive behaviors, we have an essential self, essential truth, and we are whole and perfect beings. Okay. Knowing that, doesn't that give us some hope that we can go back to that?
It sure does. It really does. Once you find how to purely love yourself again, it's the best feeling in the world. And then it's about giving that love out to the next man, because then you just grow bigger. You get more friends. You get more people that you attract to you from the energy of love you give off now, from the darkness and the dungeon you was in for so long. Now you're this man of love with goals, with a vision, and it attracts to you. And then you just get empowered and you keep going, baby. It never say never, never give up. Nobody. Addiction's no game, and it could take your life just like that. But you have a chance today to not fall back in that dungeon or kill yourself tonight. Get out of it, baby. Let's move forward.
The problem is though, Jed, is it only worked if you want it to work. There's so many people out there, so many people who are suffering in addiction, so many people who are entrapped, who can't get out of it, and in some ways don't want to get out of it, but they're obviously killing themselves. How can we help someone to get out of addiction when they don't want to, or can we?
And that's the thing, we can, but we have to restructure their living, their everything they do, change people, places, and things. And I know a lot of people can't do that. That's why they say stuck. But with that said, once you change what you see every day, now you're bringing in new stuff into your mind. How you feel, who you're around, changing people, places, and your things is the best thing first. Because then when you got this, all seeing these new things and everything else is coming, new activities and all that, then you're able to start to develop these new expressions. And once you start developing these new expressions, baby, you're going to get a feeling that you never got before. So now you're going to get addicted to the new expression instead of the old man, and get addicted to this new expression to where you never want to lose it. So then you're going to stay positive and start moving in a better direction.
But what about if the person doesn't want to move in that direction? That's the dilemma. They're the people that I think we need to try and get to somehow. And I think it shows like this. I think it's giving that message. Getting that message out there, showing people that there are people who have been where you are today, and look where they are today. Look, you can get out of this, but you have to have a reason to get out of it. And I don't use the word addiction anymore. You know what I call it? Bonding. I call it connection. Yeah, addiction, bonding, connection is the same thing. It's what you do it with. Jed. Don says, thanks, Jed.
Thank you.
You guys. Don says, thank you, Jed. Thank you, Saf. Thanks, group. Thank you, Don. You had your one more, Don. You had your one more. Angel says, hope. And she goes, thank you, guys. And Don, with the last message, says, step into grace. Lovely, Kimberly. Look, thank you, Jed. You know what?
I'll have to do this again sometime.
Oh, you! I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you joined me today.
I'm too. Thanks.
The people who I believe have got so much value from what you've shared today is second to none. I definitely want to do further work with you in some capacity, because I believe the world, the community need more people like you, and I thank you from from my core for being here today. And this, ladies and gentlemen, will not be the last you see of Jed. In fact, before we go, Jed, tell the viewers about your show, what day it's on, what time it's on.
Yes, I'm on Facebook, y'all, Jedediah Crouch. And I just do live little posts every day, reach out, positivity, touch the next man, and come up with valid points, and just try to get out. I get on there every day just to speak my love, speak my heart out there.
What time?
I don't have no set time. Yeah, I'm working on all that.
Just keep on, man. Just link up with Jed or link up with me, and you are linked up with me. Ask me anything, and I'll let you know when he's on every day. I might even join him. Okay, guys. Thanks, Jed. Thanks again.
Thanks. Love.
So humble. Thanks, guys. This has been that was Jed, and this has been Saf Buxy, Universal Recovery. Spirituality gone wild. We hope to see you next Tuesday. Either TJ or Jeremy will be back. So we'll go on the Conscious Recovery hat on. We'll have that on for you, and we'll try and try and match today, man. Wasn't Jed? What a human being! What a wonderful, wonderful soul! What a soul! I mean, I can't believe he's 43, but what a young lad with so much wisdom and so much knowledge and so much experience, and that's what it is. This is something that you can't read, you can't learn about. A lesson lived is a lesson learned. You can't read this, you can't study this. Yeah, I mean, you could study the psychological side of things and the addiction side of things or whatever. Yes, you can, but a lesson lived is a lesson learned, and you can't buy that. Thanks, guys. This has been Universal Recovery. Please see me again on Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time, whatever time that is in the world. Please check it out every Thursday. Inspirational people, inspirational stories. I've got Scott Stanfield this Thursday, and a remarkable, wonderful man. I call him the SGW Wim Hof. He's just amazing. Of course, next Monday night on Sky TV channel 191, Sky Showcase. I'm on at 9:30 on Men's Talk, where we talk about, well, a few men just get together and just talk, and that's a great show. And again, we'll see you next Tuesday. So thank you very much. This has been Universal Recovery. Stay clean. Don't like that word, really. Stay safe. God bless.